ponytail isn't even long enough for that right now. Wow, that's bright. And the green screen actually works pretty well. Might tweak some values here or there. Color correction. Maybe not. How's it look with that? Ah, oh no! Can you tell that there's like a bunch of light on this side of me? Let me turn that down a bit. That's a little better. Maybe I should have one of those lights on this side as well. It actually appears to look pretty fine here. So yeah, in case you can't tell, fancy new green screen. Might need to tweak the values a bit. I really only used it for a presentation, so that's what that got it for. And then kept it around. That said, let's get continuing with this, shall we? Let's start this trial. Did I get any new skills here? I don't think I did. And anyways, I am full on... Yeah, okay. Okay, so it's been like 2 weeks since I last did the chapter, so I need to remember things about it.
Your votes will determine
So it was this 16th student who had a connection to the thing. Kyoko was nowhere in sight. And there's suspicion on Makoto.
If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But then I'll punish everyone besides the Blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim.
No more. We already know who did it because we have no idea.
First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
Sir?
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No, that's a ghost!
Just realized I should share the link and just admire the stupidity Yasuhiro, dude, you're cool, but you're really dumb. Let me open that new tab. Seriously, dude. You are dumb.
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because
She's alive!
she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
Yasuhiro, how do you get dressed in the morning? I'm genuinely concerned.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Okay, center.
Her traits?
I got it!
Yeah, the hand, the
I'm
tattoo.
talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Right?
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion. I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
Are you serious? I... Okay. The fake nails and the tattoo. It's either the fake nails or the tattoo on the red.
Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
Ah.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
Shoot!
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
I'm a ghost.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because
Nope.
that corpse is
My
absolutely
mistake.
Kyoko.
I can't blame it on my controller anymore because I got a new controller that actually functions properly.
That
So now my
Kyoko
mistakes
there is just a
really
ghost.
are my own.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's
The
not
tattoo
a
on the
ghost.
right hand, I think.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They
That's
got
true.
burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
Nope.
Shoot!
Am I gonna get a game over already?
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it.
Let's see. The exploded body analysis. The explosions burnt the upper half of the body beyond recognition. Okay, that has to do with water.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
Is it the
They
fake
got burnt
nails
up in
on...
the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
Yeah, okay. You couldn't have been with the fake nails.
No, there's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails.
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Next up in Captain Obvious.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
What was her name again? Mukuro Ikusada.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Meh. The tattoo on the right hand.
If Kyoko really is still
Clever.
alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out.
I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the
Nope.
Monokuma file.
That was
Well,
true.
if we can't identify the body,
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
No, we can identify it via the tattoo on the right hand. Mukuro Ikusaba. The 16th student lying hidden somewhere in school. Yeah.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
there's gotta be some way to figure
I believe
it
it's tattoo on the right
I
hand.
don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition.
out. And there wasn't any description at all. If we can't identify the body,
Yeah.
No, that's wrong.
Yes.
There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
what? For real?
If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
Yasuhiro.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog?
Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
I just realized, let's turn Ha away from this, as she was staring right at the screen. I should probably not let her see this. Yeah, don't let the kids see it. Don't let your kids watch it.
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
I need to really, get a hold on them if I ever end up being a parent. Don't let your kids watch it.
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
I got it!
Yep, Mukuro Ikusaba's
Fenrir
count.
Mercenary
Or
Corps.
profile.
That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad...
Monokuma should not be allowed on television. How much you want to bet? And if this actually is the case, then well then, is Danganronpa a pirate radio TV show of sorts? Is that what's going on here?
Would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
A puppy dog. A wolf. Easy enough.
Now I understand. The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast.
Wow. Toko actually useful for once.
He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Loki. Huh. Guess I'll have to pay attention during Marvel movies.
After all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo. And that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
Nope.
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Unless you're being lied to.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier.
There you go. She's not the ultimate despair.
If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
And who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time, and when she finally turns up, she gets killed.
Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
True, very true.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost.
I don't want you trying to solve the mastermind case, so I'm diverting attention away from it.
Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this, no matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation.
Put Monokuma and Chris, whatever his name is from Total Drama, in the same room together. See what happens. Actually, that sounds like a horrible idea, and I regret bringing it up.
Now then, just so nobody's confused,
Oh no.
let
Oh
me say
no.
this
What
one
have
more
I
time
wrought?
for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point
Yeah, I
straight
have no
to
idea
your
how this is gonna
fiddle
end.
brains.
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Nope. There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
And yet one of them hasn't been to a single class trial.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Oi.
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
I got it!
Oh.
You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time, we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
Exactly so.
Oh boy.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right?
It's been like 2 weeks, so
She
I
went
forget
to go
what
get the
time it was.
pickaxe.
I'm gonna have to just wildly guess here. Okay, cool.
The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Really, 2 weeks. I didn't remember what time it was.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around...
The signs are really pointing at, if not a suicide, which I doubt they'd pull that card twice, especially in a case like this, at Kyoko being the murderer here.
Oh yeah! Right around 7:30.
It'll suck
Remember
if that's the
checking right before I
case.
went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
Okay.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Sprinklers.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night.
He'd be insanely wet if
And
that
Makoto
was
doesn't have an alibi.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock
o'clock.
7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder.
So Makoto, if you have any objections,
7:30.
now would be the time.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
And Makoto doesn't have an alibi.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
What?
Shoot!
We've established a time
Yeah,
frame
I know
for
it's the
murder.
sprinklers.
It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep. And Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of the.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
No, it had to have taken place after 7:30. Yeah, okay. So I have the right truth bullet, just the wrong place.
So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock.
Yeah, okay, so I was aiming it at the wrong place then. Got it. I knew it was the sprinklers.
Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet, dripping
Only
wet, in
the
fact.
top half because it was put out.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words?
That's not what I'm saying at all.
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
Someone get this girl some help, please.
Man, you're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
Okay, hopefully this will work now.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! How can you say it wasn't the sprinkler?
This should prove it.
Nailed it! It feels so good to have a proper controller for that game again.
Just remember what the
Properly
body was
functioning
like
controller.
after the explosion, and
So
you'll
I can
see why
actually-
it wasn't the sprinklers.
Inputs are actually properly working.
The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry.
No, I do not have Crypt of the Necrodancer, Pagoda. Nor do I have, the high roll thing. Oh, boy.
If the sprinklers got the
I
body
need to
wet,
close the door.
shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
Sorry. What? him. Alright, and I got a message I'll check real fast while I'm up. Okay. I have to let him. Okay.
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
I'm so sick of her.
Let's just move on.
Yeah, I think we all at least get it, what happened.
The reason only the top half was wet was because... while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
We've gotten really good at it.
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial, something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Wait, what?
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
Oh, the tarp.
I got it!
Fair enough.
You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
So the murder did happen before 7:30.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be?
The knife at the crime scene, the body before the explosion.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Yeah, no. The tarp didn't.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Ah.
Shoot!
Okay,
By
it's...
covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only because the sprinkler got that.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless.
It's because that side was protected from the water.
I think... No.
Shoot!
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the...
Not the knife at the crime scene.
It was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
No? Ah.
Shoot!
What am I missing here? What am I missing?
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side
It's not the body before the
is because the
explosion.
sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp,
Okay, I
it was
mixed that up.
totally
Should pull
spotless,
it up.
right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Exactly.
No, that's wrong.
So there's no way it could have been covered.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it.
I knew it. I had the right idea.
Blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Yakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they used it.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage? What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's?
The chicken.
Where would they get something like that?
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
How even do murderers come up
When
with
I
these
checked the
things?
chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens.
But then there were 4.
But after the murder, there were only 4.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
No kidding.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body.
And it hadn't.
But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so.
No.
Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole.
I
but the
remember
arms
thinking that
weren't
was
in the
weird at
sleeves.
the time.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off. But the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off,
Yep,
at 7:30.
like I did.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe. But still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
The disguised...
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
From the kitchen? Right, that knife.
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
I checked and the knife was gone.
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier. Then why did you hide that fact?
It's not that I hid it. It's just...
Suspicious! Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Oh, that was used to cover it up. Nope.
It's the...
The suspect covered the tarp with the body with a tarp, and I'm gonna have to close the door again. I just noticed.
It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question.
Oh, how was she killed?
You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
She wasn't killed by the bomb. I don't think, anyway. No. That had to have been used to cover up the thing. Like, if she had been alive at that point, for whatever reason, just asleep, then she would have been killed by the bomb. But... that's a shot in the dark. No, the knife was all the way through at the time, so it had to have been the knife if it was all the way through.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it?
I mean, I can try fragments near the dead body for the bomb, but...
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
yeah, that's what I thought.
Shoot!
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was a...
If he did have that knife, that seals it. Look, just because I had them, that automatically make...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her.
No,
It was the
wrong.
disguise. Okay. Right logic, wrong truth bullet. Got it.
Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover.
But if it was all the way through her, then... She would have been dead by having that knife in her. I'm just gonna put that out now.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her.
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right?
Or maybe the... No.
In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Oh my god, I was right. But then the knife! The knife was in her! Kyoko said it. Kyoko said Monokuma said it. Hello? Hello? Logic? You wanna explain that one to me? I feel like that's reaching with what I've been told.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point...
Wait, so the bomb didn't go off. It wasn't... The bomb didn't go off at the time, then. It wasn't the thing that set her on fire.
Obviously, the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
Sir? I have no idea.
Shoot!
I have literally no idea.
I refuse to give up yet.
Oh, there's our game over for that trial.
Wait, hold on. That should be clear from the...
Lies!
Stabbed twice in the same spot.
Shoot!
Bloody duct tape. Okay, Kyoko was the murderer. A single time. Okay, this is why you read the Monokuma file.
States that there was only one stab
Aye.
wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. I totally forgot about that.
This is what happens when you do a class trial 2 weeks after the investigation, folks.
Then the knife...
was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same
Forgot
thing.
that genocide Jill was sent flying.
The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kind of goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well,
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion!
sir, are you okay?
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
Trying to... Is it the fragments?
I got it!
Okay.
After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural, because of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that
Is Kyoko.
is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
Okay, yeah, what did kill her?
Then, shall we continue the debate?
Dead before the blast. Struck in the head with an object as thick as a metal pipe. Okay, okay.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has...
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Fatal injury.
Well, yeah.
She was already told.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? Then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
But those were several days old.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
No, that's wrong.
Yeah. Knew it.
Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
Nope. Nope.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with a metal end and call it an accident.
Nope.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
Someone get this girl some help.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
I need to remember what thick item is. Nope.
Shoot!
Yeah, no. I was thinking they covered up the whatever was used.
I got it!
Okay.
Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
Arrow.
It was.
That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kind of weird.
Also, hello, Neos1776. Welcome to the stream. We're on Case 5 of Danganronpa 1.
Hey! How dare you!
Yeah,
back
last
off,
chapter,
Master? You have
I was
no
told
right.
by the game that I was like halfway through the game, so...
I'm not back-talking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
The tape.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Yep.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
No.
Okay, I actually wasn't sure that was right when I fired the arrow. I felt like it had to be right up until I fired the truth bullet.
That's why the killer used another weapon.
It wasn't right for the reason I thought it was.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled up wad of duct tape.
So arrows are completely
The
irrelevant.
killer probably used this duct tape to bind multiple arrows together.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker,
Kyoko.
it was
The
you,
key was
Kyoko.
in her thing.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
Yeah, you
Why
have.
do you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto?
She has, even without the key. I'm pretty sure she was the one in the dojo before.
Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to the death of us all. Remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
Yep.
I got it!
It was in her room.
The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is right here.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
She didn't know.
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just, there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
What?
Yep. Called it.
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait, I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
Is this where that bad end you told me about, Coda, is gonna come up?
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
Oh. Oh. Byakuya.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm wondering that too.
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
They would have seen.
What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
That's not it.
Shoot!
I feel like it lies in Byakuya's
Those words
account,
you
though.
just spoke.
Exactly what I'm not the killer. You should understand that more.
Byakuya,
Master would never hide something.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime and then left the locker key in my own room, correct?
Shoot!
Yeah, the latter in that case, Kyoko.
Those words you just spoke. What
Okay.
do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Okay, so Byakuya's account. I don't think it's the woodblock key. The key to one of the lockers in the... Yeah, that's not it. When the body was found.
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the
I feel like
culprit.
it's when.
Is that what you're saying?
Swing and a
You
miss.
stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime and then left the locker key in my own room, correct?
Oh.
Shoot!
Those words you just spoke.
Exactly. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than
Byakuya,
Master would never hide something from
there's proof that you aren't the culprit.
Let's try that. No.
Shoot!
Those words you just spoke.
What do you mean?
exactly
I
what
feel
I'm
like
not the
Byakuya's
killer.
account.
You should understand that more than any.
Double check. This is probably gonna lead to another game over. There was no corpse in the garden just after nighttime last night. Right, okay.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct?
But could I really have done that?
That's the proof.
Those words you
The
just
proof
Exactly
is
what I
in
said.
the
I'm
pudding.
not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone who.
Byakuya,
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
No,
Yep.
that's wrong!
There's proof? No, that's wrong.
If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room.
Huh? Why not?
Because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I forgot about that. I didn't even consider that. I didn't even consider that at the time. That Kyoko couldn't. Crafty girl.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room...
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself.
Yeah, so that leads me to wonder, how for all those days did Kyoko not sleep?
Am I wrong?
It would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
Uh-oh. Take it, this is where we're gonna encounter the potential bad end. Well, I mean... I'll look up the bad ending later.
There was a lie hidden within Kyoko's statement just now.
Good job, me.
A lie?
Isn't that right, Kyoko?
You said it. The burden of proof is on you, so let's hear it. Where's this lie, then?
Kyoko's account.
I didn't have the key to my room, because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
No, that's wrong.
Instantly.
No. Kyoko could have gotten into her room. You said so yourself. Didn't you, Kyoko?
Monokuma's secret tool?
Kyoko stole it from the headmaster's room. It lets you get into any room in the school.
She wouldn't have told that to us without reason.
Which means she could have used it to get into her own room.
Then I guess that's it.
You're giving up just like that? You admit to killing...
No, I'm simply recognizing that I lost.
What are you talking about?
Like I said, this was a trap, and I wasn't able to escape it.
Was that actually the bad call?
So I lost. That's all this means.
Huh? Then, are you saying you really didn't, Kyoko? You really aren't the killer?
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
I'm sorry to say, but your time is up! All done, all finished. The class trial is all over.
But that's ridiculous! Since when is there any...
It's because you were late, so the trial started late and time ran out! So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you! But I guess we already know who the blackened is, don't we?
But it wasn't Kyoko, was it? Couldn't have been.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment. Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
Yeah, no, that was too abrupt. And this is going on too quick. Monica was clearly trying to just get rid of her. So... Is this a bad ending, or is it... Did I do quote-unquote good? That's how the class trial of Mukuro Kusaba. Huh. So is she? And so she died of old age, and if they never had a class trial again, I guess everyone saw it, maybe? And I've never seen Byakuya so happy. And what
No! This isn't right!
Okay, I guess that was the bad ending. Got it.
Makoto, why are you staring off into space? Don't you have a rebuttal for Kyoko's claim?
Okay, so let's not expose Kyoko's lie then. I really thought that was, I guess my fault for thinking it was so obvious.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
What? It had to be Makoto, right?
I don't see any other option.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you? Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
Time's up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
The lie you told me earlier. It should be obvious, so that was, the...
It's because you were late, so we
That
had to
was the
push
lie
back the
then.
start
You
time.
were trying to throw me off track then. So that I would get the bad ending at least
So
once.
then, it's time for voting time, okay?
We'll play.
Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
Voting time?
Yeah, think about it. With the bad ending, we didn't even get the... Yeah, okay. A rank, woo! Cool.
Now, who will be chosen as the
The
Blackened?
dreadfully wrong
Will
one.
you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Hey, hold on!
What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Because I didn't. Monokuma didn't care who he pinned it on.
Sorry.
They don't even believe it. Okay, well.
Yes, indeed. Yep. Hey! Shing! Thrills, chills, kill!
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
So she probably... No, she couldn't... Okay, so now it's Makoto's turn. Cool. So since I cleared, I'm guess... Huh. There's no way this is a real punishment. Okay, well... Something's gonna happen, I feel it. Because... that ended too abruptly, right? We can't just kill him right now. Not on that. Game's not over. Oh. Alter Ego survived. Ah, I think I bruised my knee earlier. And Monokuma wasn't expecting that. Huh. He survived!
Um,
What is that?
This is...
Yeah, and I think the other one is in V3. That's because the victim or the perpetrator died before the execution could actually finish, right? And I'm keeping that vague. I actually know which one it is, if I'm right. But I'm keeping that vague for people who haven't played. Yeah, okay, so we're on the same page there. The bit of knowledge I do have on the series pays off. The bear is panicking. You can smash the laptop, but that won't get rid of alter ego.
What the heck?
In other words, calm down.
We're not the ones being trapped this time. This bear. That's a good one. That's a good one, Picard.
In other words.
Now it's the mastermind that's ensnared.
What did you say?
So...
Because it was neither Kyoko nor Makoto who killed him. Why are we doing this again? Memories. And Chihiro continues to be the best character. Okay, there's not much to investigate. Yeah, no kidding. Okay, that's just the whole thing. Got it. A rocket in a tank. Is that from the first the former from the first execution? The ultimate hope. The ultimate declaration I made was, go to sleep. I did was sleep and sleep. Huh.
Just a second.
A giant piece of trash. Rude.
It smells awful.
Nope. Okay, Kyoko with just a cup. Go. What? The cup ramen on her head is the greatest.
Indeed. So... Hey.
And that cements Kyoko as best girl. Makoto is the ultimate hope after all. If that's actually what he's going to be called later in the game, I don't know. That's literally just where I think it's going. Kyoko with a noodle hat.
Hmm?
All right, Kyoko.
So... You... Indeed. However... It's true. In other words... Indeed.
Huh?
Makoto. That's right. It would seem... Hey. Indeed. However... Why is that? Correct.
Yeah.
However...
And now she trusts us, which is huge.
I understand. I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
Listen. Hey. Correct. So...
The ultimate detective. Called it.
Correct. So...
Did not know that.
In other words, no matter what,
So,
however, so,
Mass desk drawers dumped on the floor.
it's true. Indeed. Correct. However, so, however, anyway,
This is where Junko's gonna come into play, isn't it? Because she died, but she's not dead somehow? Based on what I do know. She was killed by a blunt object.
indeed. Correct. That's right. In other words,
she was struck with a blunt object, so we still don't know what killed her. We still have no idea what killed. Oh.
hey,
Not the explosion, the stab with a blunt object. What else was there?
indeed. Anyway, correct. However, correct. Indeed. Correct. In other words, Makoto.
What else was there in play?
Indeed. That's right. It would seem... Indeed. Anyway...
Huh.
Indeed. That's right.
Alright. Yeah, I'm trying to think what that other thing was that you mentioned, unless it hasn't been revealed yet.
It's true. Indeed.
Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death.
Hey.
What do you want to do?
So... Wrong.
Quite the opposite. Because you're good at your job.
Indeed. It's true.
The body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old. So what caused those wounds? That's it. Whatever caused those wounds is what we need to look for.
However,
And yet,
What? Wrong. However, So... However... Right. However... So... However... Correct. Wrong. Hey. Indeed. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Whew.
Incinerator? Garbage pit?
Listen. So then, in other words, however, because, so, right. Indeed. Shall we go?
The plot thickens.
Well now.
Hey! Kyoko, I don't mind so much. But Makoto's supposed to be dead. What's he doing here? Yep.
What?
Shing! You're making me angry!
Right. However, now, if...
Huh? Hey!
Because...
Set up this latest Clash Royale yourself, right?
In other words... However... Right. Indeed. However... Listen to me.
And that means I lose. You talk a bit game. You're saying the blackened is me and not Makoto.
Well?
And you can prove this, right?
Well,
No, I can't. What is this, a comedy routine? To make such bold claims without a shred of evidence.
that doesn't matter.
I don't have any right now, but with a little more time, I guarantee I'll find some.
That's right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there is only ever one absolute truth.
Boom, boom.
And now you're trying to talk like some kind of famous detective type.
Because
Makoto really was the killer. He never would have come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you so love to inspire.
however,
But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts.
What the heck?
indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince.
Hey,
If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased.
indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume you killed him because what we said is exactly right.
Listen to me. Hey,
Of course, you can say we're just making this all up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. Let me turn down this light a bit. Yeah, that's less intense. If you want to earn our despair fair and square,
that's what we have to
then
do.
I suggest you take my advice. So, what is this advice of yours?
It's true.
To do Mukuro's trial over again. Only this time, up a bit. I'll figure out lighting later. You follow the school regulations to ensure a fair trial.
It's time for one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair. Hey,
Oh boy. Getting down to the wire.
Barrett! What's wrong?
I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little. So, time for bear jokes! Oh no.
in other words,
You guys!
Prepared to agree. Oh my god. I'm feeling despair from all these bear puns now.
I can barely contain myself!
Like, Teddy, you are not.
Barrett! You guys! I can barely contain myself!
Qualify. Oh my god.
it's true.
You guys!
We're as excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
How will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair?
Hey,
I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held.
What's wrong?
I remember that, for sure. So what?
hey,
I just want to confirm that is what you said, right? And it's a true statement? You don't have to be so suspicious. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. everything is based on the school regulations. And having a trial for Mukuro is no exception to that.
Listen.
Now I'm really angry!
It's a matter of knowing the answer. We're trying to figure out the puzzle. Seeing the picture on the box, trying to figure out how to put it together.
Hey!
I don't even care anymore. You're all gonna get your punishment later anyway.
Hey.
That bear is insane.
However, whew. So, because listen. Indeed. However, in other words, so it would seem in other words, correct. Hey. That's right. It's true. Makoto. In other words, at the very least, indeed. Right.
Nice mentioning Junko this late in. Just reminding us that she is totally 100% irrevocably, without question, dead, and therefore can't be the mastermind.
It's true. Indeed. In other words, however, wrong. Whew.
Yeah. Maybe some of Celeste's luck is going on you. Or can't rubbed off on you?
However, correct. Hey. However, anyway.
Well, I mean, we don't have to worry about 16 students, so
go?
there's that. Yasuhiro is gonna think we're a ghost. Calling it now. Not him. Alright, Byakuya.
Hey.
I'm coming for you.
Hey.
None of them are in their rooms. I think he's broken.
Whew. However,
Is that Makoto?
You guys!
It is! There's no two ways about it. That's Makoto.
You survived?
Jeez. You're like a stubborn little cockroach, you know that?
I'm just asking to make sure, but you're not
Nope.
a ghost, right?
I called it! Nope, we're the real thing.
What?
What's that smell?
What the heck?
Yeah. Shoot! Shoot! Oh, despair.
I'm telling you.
I was rolling around in garbage for a while. I win.
That's right.
Not too many people can say they had their lives saved by a computer program. I imagine it was a learning experience for you.
Yo,
I didn't go to the spirit world.
you know?
You get to talk to her? Who? Yeah, who's Miss Cleo? Anyway, Kyoko, let's get this on the track.
Yes.
it's true.
The last clash strap.
In other words,
Huh?
How about that?
Dude, you're alive! Wait, why are we doing this trial? He killed him. No, I didn't.
wrong.
I see.
It was all the work of the mastermind.
That's right. However,
What did you say?
however,
Huh?
correct.
Naturally.
Don't be mean!
Stan, you can ask Kyoko to explain it again. Later.
About that. Huh? But
Anyway,
Oh no!
I hate you.
I, meanwhile, want to get out of here as soon as humanly possible.
anyway,
I still can't believe that Byakuya in that future actually looked nice. What the heck? And Toko was just dead.
Interesting.
If there wasn't another class trial, I'm guessing she somehow killed herself in view of everyone then in that ending. Well, that's an alternate timeline. We don't need to worry about that.
but
I... Indeed.
I see.
The one who is the mastermind is the one student we met, but was never in a class trial. And wasn't a victim either. Not to a murderer, anyway.
So, in other words, that's right.
What?
no way!
Indeed.
And it's pretty clear it's not Kyoko or Makoto at this point.
Well, but
I'm right, right?
This is a school announcement. You've all probably figured this out by now, but at this point, the killing game has now entered true ending mode. So, in the name of fairness, I will unlock every room in the school.
Well, that's handy.
Look wherever you want. Solve the mystery in whatever way you see fit.
Huh.
Then we can all meet up at the class trial, okay?
Hmm?
That's fine. In the name of my family. Goodbye.
The one major puzzle that I'm wondering about, because I know it's Junko, but she was undoubtedly killed. So that's the part I don't get. And it's gonna hit me in the head with a sledgehammer.
Hey.
When the answer drops. That's a description.
Indeed.
You know?
Just a second.
How about that?
But... 'cause, I mean... Huh?
Yeah, that going all the way back to the first class trial.
But... okay.
Indeed. However... So... So then... Correct. Makoto.
The body was covered with other wounds, but several days old. So I think that's where we'll stop it for now. And I might continue tomorrow. I was thinking I would have an obligation tomorrow, but that's not till Friday. And it'll be a good way to celebrate having done my, being done with my summer class, so... yeah, finishing up Danganronpa after finishing up the summer class. So, woo. That works. You can also consider what I will want to stream after I'm done with Danganronpa. Might do Persona 4, Golden True, and also Social Links Run or something else. There's a few different things. But yeah, that'll be it for now. Thank you all for tuning in. We're almost done with solving this mystery. Until next time, bye!